Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm here with our good friend Daniel Cohen in front of Mr. Owen's Pizzeria, rated the best pizza in North Florida, multiple branches around the States. We're going to take you on a little tour into the restaurant, and the interview will actually take place here today. Come join us.
This is the general manager of this location. He started with us as a pizza maker like 2 years ago, and now he's the boss here.
Hello. Welcome.
She is Vanessa.
Hello.
Odalis. Okay. Well, here we can see a little bit before the rush come and everything become crazy here. A little bit of us, I mean, the sauce we do it, prepare that daily. Basically we bring the tomato from Italy, and the flour comes from Italy too. It's in a special blend just for this brand. That's one of our differentiators, and it's very special because made the product like a very different than the other that you can see. As you can see, we do all our pizzas one by one at the moment that we order that. And that is also another special thing.
Now that you guys have seen the inside of Mr. Owen's Pizzeria, we've taken it outside in one of the outdoor seating areas. I'm here with Daniel Cohen, as mentioned, from Venezuela. He's now the CEO of Mr. Owen's Pizzeria. They're actively expanding both in the Florida market and in Texas. Daniel, the stage is yours. Thank you for having us here.
No, thank you. It's an honor to be part of this process or this success histories. It's a really honor to be part of this with you.
Absolutely. So tell us, so you grew up in Venezuela, you came here later in life. What was your upbringing like? How was your family dynamic? And if you could just take us through that.
Well, that's interesting because one of the things that drive me in my early years is my parents was divorced when I was young. And one of the things that I always say is I want to be successful. That was my drive. Then later on, I learned that desire,
right,
basically. But at that moment, I don't know why, but I always say I want to be successful, and that was my drive. I started to work very early.
What was your first job?
Like I have 16 years old. I mean, I started early. I do some raw in my neighborhood and go to my neighbors and sell the raw.
Yeah,
that was my first. Like when I was 7, 6.
Right.
And then when I was studying high school, and McDonald will open in Venezuela at that time. I mean, first time in Venezuela, and I applied, they hired me, and I started to work. At that time, wasn't a work because all my friends were there, was very new. I mean, in the country, don't exist part-time works at that time, and was very, very unique to work there. I mean, people go there with drivers. I mean, it was a different experience. And just people, very wealthy people work there. I mean, the kids of wealthy people were there. Well, we learned, started working there, and then grew up. I started as a crew member, grew up until director of operations in McDonald.
Sure.
Then when Wendy's will open in Venezuela, I went to Wendy's as a vice president of operation, and then be president of the company.
Wow. Of all the Venezuela.
Yeah, we used to have 55 restaurants, 2,500 employees.
Wow.
And
you were overseeing all of that.
And I started. I mean, I shorter a long story. I went.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a
lot of process. I mean, I prepare myself. I study. One of my mentors that is my partner now. When I started to work with him, I mean, he was my mentor. He helped me to grow. Part of what I'm today is because of his mentoring. Okay, you know that you have very teachers, mentors during your life. Well, he was one for me, very special, and continue being because
now he's a partner today.
Right.
Very cool. And then, was your family when you said your parents were divorced when you were young, right?
Yeah.
Were they? Was it a middle class family you grew up in? Were your parents successful? What was that like?
It was a middle class family.
Yeah.
My mom worked hard to grow us. We was three. My brother and my sister died young. My brother when he was 21 years old.
Wow.
He was surfing in one beach in Venezuela and he threw and he hit his head. Yeah. And Pat and my sister died when she was 60, something like that, 49, with cancer.
Wow.
Well, that was hard at the beginning, but it's part of the history. I take care of my mom from when I was young, from very young age. Because my dad wasn't in house, I took like the responsibility and that.
Even though you were the younger child, you still.
Yeah, some people say that you take over that position, and I understand that was part of my path later on, and I was very fortunate to have my partner, the partner that I was talking about, helped me a lot. To be, because I don't have like a father role model, and I took a lot from him, the way that he take care of his kid, and well, I was very fortunate.
Right. Did he grow up? Was he similar in age to you, or is he a lot older than you, or a lot younger than you?
Well, no, he have like 10 years more.
Right.
13 years more.
Where was he in his career before he came and worked with you in Mr. All?
Well, he was a very successful entrepreneur from early age. He have different companies, and when we started to work together, I have a common friend. A guy that was in the industry that know me from the industry because he was very. And he said, "You need to hire that guy." I was like 21 years old or something like that. And he interviewed me and he hired me. We started to work together when I was like 24 or 23. I was in McDonald's and he was in another concept that how Wendy's came in Venezuela is they bought a company that have 200 restaurants.
Okay.
To convert that company into Wendy's.
Wow.
That was the strategy. They hired a lot of talent that was in the industry at that moment. I was one of them. He hired me as a general manager of one of the concepts. They have 200 restaurants with 8 brands. I was the head of one of those. And that was shock. This company, well, for me was like crazy different. I was in a board director. I was learning a lot with that experience. And then when I go back, the deal at that moment wasn't go through because financial issues in Venezuela, basically, on the external.
All right.
And McDonald called me again to go back with McDonald's. And I told my partner, well, I will take this opportunity for now because I have more opportunity to grow and to learn more because they will hire me like a director of operations, send me to another countries, and I will have a lot of experience at that moment. He told me, okay, no problem, go with them, but I will call you when we are ready. And was in that way. At the moment that he called me, McDonald's offered me to be operator, partner. One of the inflection point of my life. I always have a lot of drive and know what I want, how to do it. At that moment, I say, okay, I don't know what to do. I remember that I did an exercise with my mom. My mom studied psychology and was, in a lot of spiritual. And she told me, okay, let's do this exercise. I sit down. We have 2 chairs. I sit down in one chair, and told me what you feel about McDonald's, what you feel about the people and we did an exercise. When we finished that, I decided to move and to go to Wendy's, and was the best decision that I made.
Wow.
But that was an inflection point, and I always remember that. Wow, that was because McDonald's was very successful. I have a career already there.
The product, the restaurant.
I was very recognized in the company. It's one of the 10 brands, more important brand of the world. When this will come into the market and nobody knows.
Very risky.
Very risky. But, I decided, and I always remember because the director, the country manager of McDonald's at that moment was a Canadian guy. And when I sit down with him in the interview, he told me, well, this is McDonald's. I don't have too much to talk to you.
Right.
If you want to be here, you want to be here. And that word changed my mind.
Just because he said it like that?
Yeah, because, I understand the McDonald's is McDonald's.
Right.
What's true in a way, but
I'm still giving you my life to come work with you guys.
To talk in that way.
Right.
5 years ago, he called me.
You're the same guy.
He found me in LinkedIn, and he called me, oh, you are in Miami, We talk.
What is he doing? Is he still at McDonald's?
No, he lives in Canada.
Yeah.
He's retired, but was like a, hello conversation.
Sure, for sure.
But I always remember that because it was an inflection point.
Right, completely. You mentioned losing your siblings at a very young age. How did that, it's obviously a very painful thing in life, but you go through it. How did you get through that?
Well, this is one of the things that, for me, I don't know how to describe without, I learned in Kabbalah after and give me some explanation. Let me tell you what happened. I lost my brother when he was 21, I was 28, 27, 28. And when that happened, at the beginning in my earlier years, I was like his father because he was young. I was taking care of the.
Right.
But when I married very young. When I was 23, he lived with me like 2 years before that happened. And when he passed, my thought was, thanks God that I have the opportunity to share with him as a brother. And I cannot, I don't feel pain in a way that, my thinking process now is that's a experience for past lives. Doesn't have to be with this lifetime and doesn't have to be with me. It has to be that, I understand that in other moment in my path, not in this, because I don't feel that pain. What happened with with my sister was the same thing.
Right.
In a way, I don't feel pain. But yes, I have that
right
feeling lose, but I feel I always say, wow, I have the opportunity to share with him in another way. Not easy, and sometimes before I know Kabbalah, I was, that's strange. I see people crying and
right for years,
dramas and I don't feel in that way, and I don't know why.
Right.
Then I understand. Okay, it's a reason.
Completely.
Yeah.
So you've been in the service and food industry for pretty much your whole career. When you were a young kid, did you know that you were going to eventually end up in restaurants and pizzerias? Was that no? What did you think you were going to do when you were like 10, 15 years old?
Let me tell you what I always say, David. I always say, I will be the best in everything that I do. That was my thinking process. No matter what I do, if I will clean a street, I will be the best doing
like
that. And that was my whole. I mean, always I was thinking, whatever I will do, I will be the best. And basically, that's the way that I think. I mean, I want to do my best. And this is part of what I learned later on, that is, you always have opportunity to learn something. And if you are open to learn, you are live.
Right. With your kids, how many kids do you have today?
3.
3 kids. Younger, older, what? Yeah.
31, 24, and 16.
Wow. Okay, so a gap between the 3 of them. 7 years, right?
7 years.
Exactly. That's in the next 7 years, right? With them, what was when you were raising them? Did you tell them this is the path I want you to have? Did you give them the space to decide and choose their career? How did that?
They decide. I mean, I believe that everyone's come with their own path.
Right.
We give the tools in order to grow in life. I mean, we are very blessed.
Right. In this, so we're sitting here as we said before, outside Mr. 01. What inspires this place when you're thinking about the experience people will have when they come here? Why are you guys different than, say, any other place that I can go to pick up pizza?
Well, we have a great product. I mean, the product is outstanding. The way that chef conceived the business is very straightforward. This business, I mean, is very tough. I was telling Michael that in the restaurant business, everything, the level of the importance of every area of the business is 90% or about. I mean, if you will buy a shoes, okay, the shoe is comfortable,
right?
The design is nice, but this is not too. I mean, fixed not as well. It's okay, but
you buy the shoes, right?
In the restaurant business, if you go to a restaurant and the food is amazing, the service is out of the box, the restaurant is clean, but the valet parking 10 minutes to bring your car,
I'll come back, right?
You say, oh, that
not the best restaurants,
yeah,
right?
Wasn't a good experience. I mean, meaning that everything is important. That made the business very demanding. One of the things that we learned, is the culture is one of the biggest factors of success. This is a people-driving business. If you don't take care of the people, you don't have business.
Right.
Create the right culture and work with the people. I mean, as I told you, I grew up in this business. One of the things that when we create this company, is every time that I go in my restaurant, I feel the energy. Some things we don't believe, but the energy is what made the difference. People go because of the energy. If I go to one of my restaurants and I don't see the people engaged, they see people, well, I immediately realize it's something wrong.
And what is it usually? Is it the music? It can be a combination of things, right? But what?
Well, as you know, we work in strategic planning.
Right.
And you need to put the system in place and have the soft part, that how's people feeling, and also you have the system to validate that. We have a monthly we have a different activities that create those opportunities to make sure that people is connected and is doing what. For example, we do an ASK program that we do like an evaluation of attitude, skill, and knowledge for all the people in the company, and we sit down one by one with them. And part of what we do is that's what I call the moments of truth, because the real truth is what is happening there. We as a leaders sometimes separate from the truth, and believe that, okay, we know because I know. No, we don't know anything.
What's happening inside?
What happened? When I want to know what happened in a restaurant, I stay there and work with them.
In the kitchen?
In the kitchen or in the server, but I work with them. And then I feel, okay, I know what is happening here.
Otherwise, there's no... You said before, who's the manager of this shop that you...
Charlie.
So Charlie started as
as a pizza maker.
And he worked his way up. He's young, right? How old is Charlie?
23.
23, and he's already manager of the store, and maybe he'll be partner one day. Right. What would be your advice to somebody who's younger that maybe wants to start their own restaurant one day or wants to own a restaurant?
I will say that whoever they do it with passion. Do it with love. Because what is the responsibility of a leader? Is inspire the people that you lead to be their best. And what that means is some people don't know that they are not doing things with passion. And the way that you help them is helping to realize that you are not doing that with passion. No matter in what stage in your life.
You're cleaning the dishes, you're throwing out the trash, you're making the pizza, you're serving the pizza. Do it with passion.
We're doing with passion, doing with love. Because people sometimes, a musician, you put it that do pizzas and maybe it's not her passion. Right. Okay? But we need to make sure to help the people to find, okay, you stay here, you want to be here. That's the first question. Sometimes we lose a lot of time saying people, training people, but that's not the problem. The problem is, do you want to do this? You have the desire to do this?
And if the answer is no, then you should go somewhere else.
Some people say no. Yes, I want to do it, but I don't come on time. I want to do it, but I'm
not smiling. I'm in a bad mood or whatever. Right.
Right. And we need to be okay. In the time that you are here, you need to do it with passion. What we need to do, that's our role. What we need to do to you be happy doing what you're doing. If we cannot find the alignment on that, I need to help you to find your passion.
Right.
And it's a different approach. It's not that you are good or bad to do this. No, it doesn't have to be with that. It's that you are not doing what you are passionate about.
Right.
And we, as a human being, have different moments in life and different passions. Maybe I want to be a musician. That's what I told my people. Maybe you want to be a doctor. Right. But in the meantime, when you are here, this is part of the preparation to be doctor.
That's very cool.
And it's a different approach. You need to do it with passion because this say what you will be.
It'll lead you also to find your passion eventually, right? I love that. You came from South America and you came to the United States, created what you created. A lot of people, especially younger, they say they come from this background, they have this advantage. What would be your advice or feedback to somebody who says maybe they don't speak English, they don't know the culture, they don't know people here? What would you tell them? How do they get started?
One is do it, whoever you will do it with passion. Two, create your map, your vision, where you want to be. And do it with purpose. Because sometimes we do things because the environment, what we see, and really don't think about, is that what I'm here for? Sometimes, I think that is a process. I see it with my kids. My kids, my middle one or my old, they work with me sometimes. But they decide. You have an opportunity here if you want to take it. One thing that I believe is that people need to gain everything that they do. Nothing is for granted. They know that they don't have anything for granted.
Right.
When they was studying in the university, if you want to have car, you need to pay for the gas. You will not have it
give and
for
take.
free. Yeah, because you need to. You need to put something. Do it with passion and have to vision, your clear vision of what you want. How you create that sense of what I want to be. And the other thing is a process. It's a process that sometimes we are very impatient.
Everybody is.
Yeah.
Especially in today's day and age. Right?
Yeah. But you need to see that every part of the process is important. I mean, when we feel that we fail, this is the winning. I mean, embrace those moments. That is the most important moment in your life.
Look, I like the concept of it, but let's say I'm working at Mr. Owen's Pizzeria, I wasn't performing, and I got fired. How can I feel excited about this and say this is still part of the process, even if it's a bad thing?
Listen, I have an experience now. I have to fire a general manager, a partner. And I find out, and when we have the conversation, I mean, was a very important conversation for me and for him. Because when we was having that conversation, we was agreeing that we wasn't disagreeing. And I may feel him that this is not the play that is good for him in this moment. And that was very important for me, and I think that was very important for him. He say, I have nothing to regret. I thank you for the time and for the opportunity. My life changed with this experience. And I feel very proud of what we did as an organization, and good for him, because I know that he will be better now.
So there was no hard feelings, there was nothing, it was another step in the process.
Yeah, because it's important that you can call that failed, but in reality it's not. I mean, as we learn, sometimes we see things, okay, this is the worst thing in my life. And then it's the best thing in your life, but you don't realize that at this moment.
Right. A lot of our listeners, I'm sure, will be coming to this pizzeria and the other. So other than here in Boca, where are the new locations going to be opening up?
We are opening 2 locations in Orlando. We have operations now in Boca. We are opening another one in Boca West.
Okay.
Boynton Beach.
Yeah.
And 2 in Orlando, Dr. Philip and Oviedo. And we will be opening our 4 in Texas. We have 3 in Dallas, and we'll open the 4th.
And the 4th one is in Austin or Dallas?
In Dallas. First Dallas, then we will go to Austin, and then to Houston.
Very cool. And if you could recommend one item off the menu, what would you say people have to try when they come in?
Well, the Star Carlos is the best, because that's the one that the chef created and won the prize, the first place in Monaco. It's an star pizza. It's different with ricotta on the borders, salami calabrese. I mean, it's very unique. The one that is one of my favorite is the Claudio, that have truffle oil, and it's a different pizza because it's hot. But have the stracciatella, that is the cheese that is inside of the burrata, with truffle oil, and it's amazing. It's a very...
You can't go wrong with that, right?
When I tried that, that's one of the reasons I'm in this business.
Really?
Because when I tried that, I say, wow. I mean, you know that in marketing, in business, and in marketing specifically, it's not only be the best. You need to be different. And in this segment, in pizza, if you are not different, your opportunity to be successful is limited. And when I try that, I say, wow. I mean, I crave for that, and I used not to be a pizza guy. Now I am, but not at that moment.
Mr. Owen's is the place. Daniel, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Guys, check out Mr. Owen's Pizzeria, the best pizza in North Miami Beach and in all of North Florida. So thank you, guys.